Today, I want to get into a company banning Lisa during a concert and what happened there. I want to get into Jung Kook possibly upset over people talking about where he was during a personal schedule and a musical date, apparently. And then we have Jimin actually erased from Spotify. So hey dumplings, it's Dave Desai. Hater or not, make sure you're subscribed with the notification bell on. Grab your dumpling, taste Flick Monk merch, and let's go. There's been a lot of weird issues that have happened with BTS members recently with their solo releases, and people are very upset. The first one is not as crazy, but we will start a bit lighter and go heavier. But Jungkook recently was announced to be the official ambassador of Calvin Klein. They launched the official campaign over on their YouTube channel, and the views poured in. Very quickly, people noticed that the views got stuck at a lower number, but the comments were very high, so there was no way that those low views were correct. And when views go too fast, YouTube is known to freeze the views so the system can catch up and verify. However, a lot of people in the fandom use views as a metric to show how successful a member is, when in reality it doesn't really indicate success that much. So people in the fandom get very frustrated when the views are frozen, because just give it time, it'll show the correct views. I will say views only matter when streaming and stuff like that because it makes the idol and company more money. So regardless of if you buy the album after watching a music video, the label and artist will still get money, so the label would prefer if you buy the album, but even if you don't, they can still break even on the cost with streams. However, Calvin Klein literally has no reason to care about views. They would much rather all armies go and sell out the entire catalog of Calvin Klein clothes, and the excessive views on the commercial doesn't really matter. And as I said, the views will unfreeze eventually, if not already. There was this other weird glitch that was happening with Taeyang's Instagram. Allegedly, people were unable to hit the follow button, and then armies were complaining that Instagram was deleting Taeyang's followers. And so the number had dropped. Now, a lot of this is just speculation, and I can't confirm much of this because when I tried earlier to unfollow and then refollow Taeyang on Instagram, I could do it with no issues. Although someone from a new account or someone from a different part of the world may experience a different story. The follower dropping likely is not the result of Instagram deleting any followers, but if it's true that Taeyang was unable to get new followers, then appearing like Taeyang's losing followers seems possible. Every time a person posts something, especially if you have a following, you will lose followers. This is because when you post something, the way the social media platforms work is they'll show that content to your followers first. Most people will love and like the content because they're getting what they followed for. Other people are sometimes reminded that they're following someone and they realize they're not so interested in this person anymore. People come in and out of the fandom all the time, and oftentimes it's not anything that the celebrity did or whatever. It's just maybe they lost interest in K-pop as a whole. And the reason we normally don't see a follower drop every time someone posts is because older videos are usually the one that are reaching new people, and the social media platform is pushing to new viewers. So the old content is bringing in more followers than the new content is losing followers. But this is very normal to happen, and I think the glitch has been fixed now. However, one big issue that has not been fixed has been with Jimin and his song Like Crazy. A little backstory here, Jimin has worked very hard on Like Crazy, from the visuals to the vocals. He did a great job, and we do react and fangirl over the music video on Patreon if you're interested in watching that with me. We do have a limited $1 tier that is open. I will link that in the description. And it was initially believed to have been credited that Jimin and P-Dog produced this track together. Soon after, armies were upset when they noticed that Jimin was taken off the credit on Spotify and continued to trend and message Spotify to let them know it's illegal to remove credit. So I decided to look into this, and honestly, I could not find where it initially stated that Jimin produced it. I saw that he definitely took part in writing, but producing is more so the beat and all that. And I'm not saying he didn't produce it, I don't know. But I think it's interesting because a lot of times these companies will give credit based on what is being said. So if the fandom started a rumor that Jimin produced something, even if he didn't, Spotify would give credit based on that, but when they later get more info from the label, they will usually take it off. And it's happened a few times where a rumor gets heavily believed as fact within the fandom, and Spotify would get attacked over an initial rumor. But I have no idea what's happening and why Jimin was erased from their site. But hey, if Jimin was mistreated mistreated there, he isn't the only member that gets mistreated. Lisa from Blackpink was also believed to have been mistreated recently as well, and believed to have happened on her birthday. Blackpink's still currently on tour, and they went to do their show in the Philippines. A lot of people showed up, and once the concert ended, a lot of Filipino fans went on Twitter to share how disappointed they were with their experience. The concert itself, I'm sure, was an amazing experience, but K-pop fans will often like to bring posters and cute things like that to the concert to hold up to show their love, either for the group or just for their one bias. So for the first day's concert, all unofficial banners and stuff were allowed inside the arena. Blackpink did a second show, and this was on Lisa's birthday. Fans bought some Lisa banners, and Blinks will often print several of them to give out to everyone who wants to hold them, so the girls can see a bunch of cute uniformed posters when they look out into the audience. The staff at the concert allegedly took the banner and rudely just threw them away or said it wasn't allowed, which is not a general rule. When a Blink asked why they could not bring it inside, allegedly the staff just laughed and took it away. This is obviously very bad, as these banners are printed and made with the fans' money. They do it with the kindness of their heart to show love to their fandom, and then it's seen in a huge garbage pile outside. It's very sad. People wanted Live Nation to send an apology not only to the fandom, but to Lisa for banning her content inside her show. It's one thing if the banner was dangerous or had explosives or anything that was bad, but it's just paper, and I'm sure Lisa would have loved to have a crowd full of people showing this type of love. If this is all true, I don't know if they would have a good reason to do this, other than them just not wanting official merch in the venue, but they want the fans to only buy the merch that is being sold there. However, celebrity concert merch, aside from the light sticks, suck. They don't look, they're not fun, and usually these venues, even if it's one of the members' birthdays, they don't have merch specifically for that member's birthday. I can see a fear of bringing unknown stuff into the arena because of things like stalkers or Sesson fans, right? Like maybe one of the posters is really sharp and they can be used as a throwing star or something like that. However, why was it allegedly allowed on the first day? But anyway, security is definitely important if that is the issue. Jungkook recently might have had another security issue, or at least people think there is, and I think this one is weird. It was believed that Jungkook and Tang were at another concert. If you are not aware, BTS members were recently at a Harry Styles concert. There ended up being a lot of footage of the boys there, and we got to see the boys really having fun and being normal human beings. Well, apparently there was another concert that specifically Tang and Jungkook appeared in, and this time it was allegedly just the two of them. This was a concert for Park Hyo-shin. He is a ballad and musical theater actor. Of course, Tang and Jungkook being there would not be super unusual, because why would they not go to an amazing ballad and musical theater singer and be inspired by that? There was an alleged fan that claimed that they saw Tang and Jungkook at the theater and asked for both of their autographs. They claimed that they initially just wanted Tang's autograph and didn't even know if Jungkook would be willing to give his autograph. Not because Jungkook would be rude, but you never want to take up too much of a celebrity's time. I feel like a lot of us feel guilty to do that. So the ARMY just asked Tang. However, it appeared like Jungkook was willing to sign the ARMY's BTS album, and we see both of their signatures there. Now, just to give a bit more backstory here, there's been a huge ongoing debate and debacle on whether or not Tang and Jungkook are dating. Nothing is confirmed because we have not heard it from them directly, but it's a big enough rumor where it's a huge part of the BTS fandom, and a lot of people will angrily fight to the death over this idea. Anytime there's photos or videos of Tang and Jungkook having even a minor interaction, the fandom will explode with excitement, and then on Twitter, there would be a new trend, Taekook being number one. There were many things that people were gathering from this story. One, they thought it was insanely weird how this random ARMY that got both Tang and Jungkook's signature randomly just had the BTS album at someone else's concert, and thus some people thought that maybe they knew Jungkook and Tang were there and thus bought a ticket only to meet them. And then others thought it was confirmation that Tang and Jungkook are dating as they went on a date. But I can't help but think that this is why this concert appearance, if it did happen, was nowhere documented either of the boys' social media accounts, or wasn't anything that either of them talked about, because every time the boys are seen together is a dating rumor or fan wars that happen. So they keep their moments together a secret, and of course others felt like the fact that ARMYs would have gone up to Jungkook and Tang during this concert is a big invasion of privacy and it would hurt both boys immensely. However, that's probably not true, and honestly I don't even know how true true this story is. I don't even know if they were actually at this concert. Let me know what you think. Make sure you check out my Patreon for more videos. A link down below. Thank you so much. Love the comment right here. Love you. Bye.